All right, welcome back for another beer experience. I'm Kevin with CrafTeeBeer, and you're asking, what do we have for today's beer experience? I'm going to share with you a hazy IPA. Today's hazy IPA is the Touch of Haze from DESTIHL Brewing. They're in Illinois. They were started in 2007 by Matt Potts. They started as a gastropub or brew pub, and then in 2013 they moved into an additional location where they have production brewing in a beer hall. And they're pretty successful, pretty widely distributed. A few months back in May, they announced that they were going to start distributing in the UK as well as the US. The Touch of Haze Hazy IPA is part of what they call their Deadhead IPA Series. So I'm going to say reference to the Grateful Dead. It's a 7.3% ABV. And on the can they'd say it's our Deadhead IPA Series melds the strong vibe of our favorite music with the beer we love to drink, elevating both into a higher state of consciousness. Our Touch of Haze IPA resonates with big additions of Mosaic and Cascade hops harmonized with the smooth mouthfeel of flaked oats for a mellow, juicy, hazy IPA that really strikes a chord. Cheers. Mosaic hops can give you a tangerine or papaya flavor. Cascade can be grapefruit or maybe sometimes floral. And flaked oats are usually a sign of a beer that's going to have like a creamier, full-bodied mouthfeel, like an oatmeal stout would have because of the oats. So the Touch of Haze Hazy IPA, the can is a bearded skull with bandana. So I suppose trying to get the Grateful Dead vibe. And it's the same logo on both sides. All right, a hazy IPA. Let's get the haze into the glass and see what this smells like and tastes like. It looks like a hazy IPA. They have those almost milky looking, it's a pale gold, a little milky, hazy, can't really see through it at all. 2.5 fingers of a white head, large bubbles. The top of it has that creamy look to it. You know, it's not that the big bubbles aren't on the top. It's like a creamy layer on the top. Yeah, so milky, pale gold is what we're going to roll with. Let's see what it smells like. Oh, it's like grapefruit juice for sure, which is common, but yeah, sweet grapefruit juice. I'm not getting much of anything else. If it's there, the grapefruit aroma is just so strong. It's over everything else. Yeah, grapefruit, maybe a little bit of orange juice. So a grapefruit orange juice mix. That's all I'm getting. It smells good though. All right, I'm gonna dive on in. First pass, it's bitter, a bitter grapefruit. A little bit of bite on the back end after you swallow, and it gives you that little bit of hoppy bitterness, which an IPA should have. The hazy IPA style should be, you know, hop, bitter, prominent, very little bit of malt sweetness. It should really be the bitter hops that you get. It's a pretty simple beer. It follows the nose. It's grapefruit with a little hint of maybe orange juice. It's a little balance between the two. It might be grapefruit more than orange, but it's grapefruit orange. I think the IBUs were 51 on this. That's about right. It's got a little bit of back end bite, and as with the bitter flavor, it comes in a little bit late. It builds a little as you go. So I would describe it as a little bit bright. It's not dank. It's got a fairly light, bright grapefruit, orange, citrus flavor with the back end that has a good amount of hop bitterness, and that's pretty much how the experience is going. I think that's it. I think that's how that's going to stay. There's not anything else coming out in this. It's not changing. It's just a hazy, grapefruit, orange, citrusy, mildly bitter IPA. Doesn't really feel that much of a fuller body. Maybe it's a little creamier based on the flaked oats, or maybe I'm reaching for that just knowing that they're supposed to be there. So maybe it's a little creamier, but it's medium bodied, light to medium bodied. It's not striking me as a more full, richer body than a typical IPA or a hazy IPA or a juicy IPA. Okay, yeah, I think that's the story. All right, I'm going to check this in on Untappd. The Deadhead IPA Series Touch of Haze from DESTIHL Brewing. It has a rating of 3.81 on Untappd with 341 ratings, 7.3 ABV, and actually the IBUs are 57, so a little higher than I thought. So, yeah, 3.81. That sounds pretty reasonable. The small sampling rate, 341. This might not have been out very long. I thought that this was scheduled to be released in the fall. All right, so I'm going to check this in. I went with the flavor profile of smooth, bitter, grapefruity, and orange. The orange and grapefruit are definitely there. Smooth, that's kind of, I guess I'm trying to describe that it is a little creamier, I guess, because of the flaked oats. Maybe that's not the perfect term for it, but there's something in there that adds, that rounds out the body of it. And so the bitter hop is there on the back end, not too strong, but just right. And I gave it 3.5 stars. I think that's where it comes in line. It's just a well done, simple, hazy or juicy IPA. Touch of Haze Hazy IPA, DESTIHL Brewing. It's the Deadhead Series. So if you're in the market for a grapefruit, orange IPA, if you can find this one, I recommend you run out and get it. I'm going to finish this one, and until the next time, if you've had this or something else from DESTIHL, leave me a comment. If you want to find me on Untappd, it's CrafTeeBeer. And so until the next time, the next beer experience, I'm going to say cheers.